Are we on?
Hi, it's Pam, PJ Stitcher. Hi. It's Eddie, and we have a new guest today. It's my mom. This is Dolores. So I call her Mom, Nana, and her friends call her Dolores. So we're at her house today, and we just thought we'd make her a part of our videos too and have some fun. So today we're going to start with fully finished items. So I do have a few finishes finally. So the first one is by Barbara Anna Designs, and this was a freebie in 2014. And this was my first time using linen. And last night I made it into a pillow. And then since our last video a few weeks ago, I took some wool and I made a little wool ornament. I just need to put a hanger on it. So I need to make a few more Halloween items and maybe put a little branch, paint it black, and hang it in the house. I love Halloween. Fall's my favorite time of the year.
Me too.
Okay, and I know I've shown you this before. This is the dolphin that I made for my friend, and I made it into a pillow. I was never really happy with just having a pillow. I've tried all kinds of finishes to go around the edge. Just couldn't come up with something. So finally I put a rusty old pin and a button and a large safety pin and a few more buttons, and that's it. It's time to give it to her. I didn't fully finish the back yet. I cut the hole to stuff it. So I'm going to take and cut a crab off of here. I'm going to write on the crab, sign it and date it, and then I'm going to cover the hole in the back.
Oh, that'd be cute.
Isn't that nice? Yes, it goes with the picture frame for her beach house. Her birthday was in May, so I think it's time to give it to her, at least before my birthday comes up for the year. I also worked on Hey Chickie. This is by Jen of Jen's Stitching Niche, and it was her design. She had 3 floss come out that were limited edition from Gentle Arts, and she named the 3 floss. And this is her kit, and I finished it. And I added the double, I think it's called a double cross stitch across the bottom. So this is Hey Chickie. I'm going to give this to my friend who comes over in the tractor with her grandsons probably 3 or 4 times a week. And they come over with the Cheerios and they give it to Henrietta. And they feed her and she comes out and squawks for them.
Is Henrietta feeling better since?
Yes, Henrietta's good. Okay, now I have for my Jelly Jack, for Jack, who was in our second video. And this is by, I have to read it. This is another itty bitty pattern by All Through the Night. And here's my finished Jelly Jack. And I made this kind of like Priscilla and Chelsea would frame something. This was inspired by them. So I really like this. I'm really happy with this one. Show me.
Nice.
Let me see.
Oh, I like the background too.
I think I bought this board at Joanne Fabrics.
Okay.
It came with the little stuffed burlap and the burlap bow, and then I bought this, which I haven't really hooked down yet, at Walmart, and I put that on. And it came with the little clip, so I could just clip the project on, and I could swap this out for something Christmassy. Okay, some few items that I finished stitching, but I haven't fully finished. This is Jack's Are Wild, and this is a waxing moon design pattern. It was an E pattern. And so I have the free range chickens finished in my kitchen on a chalkboard, and I'm gonna finish this put it on a magnet and swap it out for the fall. See this one?
Oh, cool.
Oh, now this one is a Stony Creek. It's going to be a stand-up, and it's called Halloween Welcome. I think this was a kit. I love her hair. Just reminds me of all my really bad hair days.
Yeah.
So this was my first project when I got back into cross-stitching last year in 2017.
Okay. So cute. You have to look at it in person to see, really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Well, this is my prairie schooler. So this is by the book Acorns, or by the pamphlet Acorns. And I made the squirrel. But I haven't fully finished it. It's going to become an acorn. I've just read the directions and wasn't quite sure how to do it. So I'm going to work on this tonight and have this all made by the next time we film. Okay, that's all for finishes. So before we get into my works in progress, I haven't made a whole lot. I had cataract surgery about a week and a half ago. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was
another
shocked
one
when they
coming
told
up.
me I had cataracts, because my mom just had cataract surgery, what, 3 years ago?
About 3 years
For the
ago,
first
yeah.
time. So when they said I had cataracts, I'm like, that can't be. My mom just had that done. But they did my first eye, and wow, what a difference. It opened up this bright world to me. And the next day I had 20/20 vision in this eye, so
It's amazing.
yeah,
when you
it
get
is.
done.
It's a
You can't-
miracle.
You can't believe it until you have it done. And
So,
the way your eyesight was before, that
you-
next day.
Yeah, you don't even know what you were missing
Exactly.
until they do it. So tomorrow I get the other eye done. So I'm really excited about this.
Yeah.
More excited than nervous, but maybe it's good to be a little nervous. So I didn't stitch. Really, I stitched a little the very first night I came home after having surgery. I was looking in the magnifier, and then my husband said, "Are you stitching? Are you straining your eyes?" I was like, "No." They turned out my light. So then I didn't stitch till later in the next day after I asked the doctor if I could. And she said I could go back to all my normal things right away. So I have to tell you before we move on this little story about my cataracts and what made me go to the doctor. My girlfriend Arlene and I were coming back from Quilt Guild meeting one night. We're at the intersection and the fairgrounds is across the street. And I said to Arlene, "Wow, look at all the rainbows around all the lights." And she said, "I don't see any rainbows." I'm like, "They're everywhere." So she said, "Give me your glasses." So I give her my glasses, and she's looking through my glasses, and she said, "I don't see them." I'm like, "You don't?" And I said, "Do you think someone at Guild put something in my drink? I mean, everybody's my age and older. We have a few young ones, but nobody put anything in my drink." So I was at a retreat, and I was telling the ladies how I see rainbows at night. They all said, "We know what's wrong with you. You have cataracts." And sure enough, I went to the eye doctor, and I had cataracts.
And ready to be operated on
And,
too.
yeah. And they were ready to go whenever I wanted the surgery. So I remembered how excited you were when you had your surgery and how good you could see. She looks so different without her glasses. I just kept thinking, that doesn't look like my mom.
But you know, I miss them.
You do?
But they're at certain times, yeah, like now I'm always trying to find my glasses because I only need them for reading.
Reading, yeah.
Yeah, close up
You have to
reading.
wear them around your neck.
I know. And then
So
you're always
she's got these
bouncing
cute
out.
little glasses right here that she wears for reading.
You're wild. But you can
So-
do that when you don't have to wear them all the time.
Right. That's when you just go and you buy lots and lots of cheaters. When I had to go to the doctor, and then I'll get off this subject, I had to go to the doctor, my regular doctor, to get approval to have surgery. And she said, "What are you having?" And I told her, and she said, "Oh, you're having the wrinkle surgery." I'm like, "What?" She goes, "Yeah. After you have your surgery, when you look in the mirror, you realize how many wrinkles you have." Oh,
I never thought of that.
So, all right, let me show you a few of our whips. So, "Tis the Season" is the next one, and I know you've all seen this one. I forgot my book, but just in case, here's "Tis the Season." I started this on September 1st. I couldn't wait to start and post online with everybody that we were starting. So I used, it's called Beautiful Blizzard, and it's by Cindy Searle from her fabric party. And I started stitching here. I got a little bit of the leaves. I got all the leaves done, or those 4, and the snowflakes and all the first 2 days. And I didn't really like my leaves. I thought they should have more variation. And then I decided I don't really like my fabric. But I started my cardinal just in case. But not happy with it. So I'm gonna restart this. You have the other fabric. And I'm gonna do this on the 28 linen. And this one is called Silvery Moon. And I think everything will show up really well on this. Anything? Show up good. I just think it got lost with all the blizzard going on. And when we have blizzards in Maryland, none of the birds come out during the blizzard. They come out after the blizzard to eat. So, thank you. He's going to keep me organized here. He's a good helper. The next one is Ida Mae Crow. This is from The Good Housewife. So this is Ida Mae.
That's so cute.
So I've been working on Ida Mae because I really
Perfect
like
name.
her, and it's crow season. And so I've gotten a lot done on this. So I just have to do the flowers on the left side and then the bottom, and she'll be completed. We went to Joann Fabrics the other day. I needed some floss. I looked everywhere for a frame for her because she's in a square frame. I wanted a 6x6. They had 7x7s, but no 6x6. So I'm gonna look at Tuesday. I go back to the eye doctor as a follow-up after surgery. So we're gonna go to Michael's and I'll see what they might have. So after I finish Ida, I'm gonna do Ira. And I'll frame them as a set.
I like their names.
Yeah, they're so old-fashioned. And then I have another whip. And this one, this is Olga's Tart by Plum Treat Sampler. Oh, I should have taken it out of the plastic, as everybody says. And I'm doing this on a 32 count. And this is a Plum Street blend. And, I'm sorry, and working on the cat now, finishing the stripes, finish the pumpkin, a little bit of twigs, and this one will be done. And this will go in the tart. So I think that's all my works in progress. And then I have another project that I want to start. So I'm going to be starting Blackbird Designs Autumn Bouquet. And I finally got the fabric for this one. Oh, this is the same fabric that I did the crows. No, I can't think of the name. Sand. This is from drawing a blank on where I got this. XG Designs, this fabric. And so I think it'll go perfect for the autumn bouquet. So before we go any further and talk about what I've bought, I thought my mom could tell you a little bit about herself. I'm going to put her on the spot.
Yeah.
I'll start. My mom's birthday is on Christmas Eve. So every year we go to my brother's and on Christmas Eve. It's so much fun because the entire family comes. All your great-grandchildren and all your grandchildren.
Well, let's see. I have 6 grandchildren, 7 great-grandchildren. It's already hard to keep track with the number. So they're all there. And besides my 3 children, Mike, Laura, and Pam.
I'm the oldest.
Right.
Just like Eddie, he's the oldest.
Yeah. His generation.
He's the oldest
Yeah.
great-grandchild.
Right, yeah, he is.
See, we're the best.
Yeah. And my big birthday is coming up, and that'll be 90 years old. So,
So I can't believe my mom's going to be 90.
you know what? I can't believe it either. But I have the bones and the creaks and all of it.
We all do.
Yes,
But my mom still drives. She still comes out to the house. We played games in the yard. My mom is a really good watermelon spitter of seeds.
Oh, the cherries.
The cherry.
But then the cherry tree fell down in a storm, wasn't it? Got knocked
And
down.
my mom's really good at slinging water balloons with the big sling and putting it in and pulling it back and sending it across the yard.
That was last year. I don't know about this year.
So yeah, she's really good at all those things.
So I used to do crafts, and I stopped as I got into my 80s, and I enjoyed it so much. It was just so interesting. We had a saw. I had a saber saw. That's what it was called, wasn't it? The saber saw?
You had a scroll. She had a saber saw, but she also had a really nice scroll saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked her into that, remember?
Yeah, we
I
went
said,
on
don't go.
We went on a convention. That was in Indiana.
Oh, yeah.
And they were demonstrating these saws, and you could cut all your own wood objects. And I bought one, and I tell you, that was the best thing. And this woodworking and painting of it, it was so relaxing. It made you forget everything, all your aches and pains even. But I finally had to give it up, but it was a good time in my life, and I enjoyed doing it.
She was really good at painting. She started when I was young, oil painting, and then she moved from that into decorative art painting, folk painting.
Crafts. We went to craft shows. We were in them.
Yeah, we did craft shows together.
Yeah, a couple
I would go
times a
down to
year.
her house and use that saw. I was so happy. She had that, and then I finally got my own.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, that was fun doing all those craft shows together. We did really well.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
But do you still get into craft shows?
No, I don't do craft shows anymore. I just do it for pleasure.
Yeah.
Make quilts for the boys.
Quilts.
Now they're going to get lots of cross stitch.
Yeah. Which is nice for them. People always.
Yes.
Just like we had my mother, which is they call Danny, and they have a lot of things that she did.
That she made. My mom's mom, my nanny, she's the one that was really big into needlework. She made my mom's wedding dress. She cross-stitched, she embroidered, she did needlepoint, macrame.
She made your clothes and
made all
Laura's
my clothes when I was
they
a
were
kid.
small.
You know, when you're a teenager and you don't want homemade clothes. But now that I look back, she made me some great clothes.
And Easter, you got a new, she made your new coat.
Yeah,
Both of
she
you,
made
and,
so much. She was really very
she was
talented.
Very talented, yeah.
And so I get my love of needlework from my grandmother, which would have been your great-great-grandmother.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, can't even imagine that.
A lot of children don't have their great-grandmother.
Yes.
And I feel lucky that I'm being able to watch them grow up. Eddie's the oldest, he's 10, and they're just right on down the line. I think the youngest now is about a year and a half or 2
He's
years
two,
old.
yeah. My
Yeah,
youngest
because
grandson.
Kyle,
Yeah, he's
Kyle
the youngest.
and Evelyn.
Yeah.
Right.
He's a
But
little
Kyle
older.
is the youngest.
Yeah.
And I just adore them all, and I have really pleasure to be around them and to see them growing up as far as they've gone. And so I hope I see a few more years.
We hope so. So my mom, we had introduced the segment on Floss Tube number 2 called, what's it called? Something Old. So my mom brought her oldest item. So you want to show them and talk about it?
This is, I called him Teddy, and I assume it was he got their name from Teddy Roosevelt, and he's made of mohair, you can see, and that's how they made him. Of course, I added the glasses. I figured, he probably needs them now. But he was a pleasure to me, and I guess he's about in his 80s, because I'm going to be 90, so I guess he's 85, 86 years old. So it's nice to have him around yet.
So for all the people that are cleaning out and you're pretty young, save some things because my mom's had her Teddy for a long, long time, and it's wonderful to have things from your childhood.
Yes, it is. To look back on and you remember.
I know my mom has a cedar chest, and she saved lots of our things in that cedar chest over the years. Lots of good memories are in there.
But there's one thing I didn't say, and it was Pam's favorite, and it was Dopey. When
The Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah, and he was about that high, and he was just made so great. But in order for me to wash him, she had her cousin. He was born the same as within a couple weeks of each other. They were born. And I would have to borrow his, give to her, so I could wash hers.
Kind of like Jack and his Bellagio.
Yeah, he's been washed to death too. And I just don't know whatever happened to Dopey, but I've given her a few other things as I see them, little that wonderful set you have in your curio case. It's made of a metal. You call it metal, it is, and then it's a few other things. We tried the Dopey that came out in the later years, but it was not nearly as cute or as nice as the original one.
So, and then we have a few more old items that we want to show, and these are things that I've made my mom during my first cross stitch adventure. So, start with this. Well, really, I made this for my dad, and I gave this to him on Father's Day one year. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll read it to you. Pride is a special feeling that is most often shared by those who have a father who has listened, loved, and cared. I love that barn.
Yeah, that was real nice.
Actually, it looks like a mill, an old mill. And then I made my mom one. So I made these in 1986 because I actually wrote on the back of my mom's, May 1986. So I gave this to her for Mother's Day, like 32 years ago. And hers says, passing time just serves to make you still more dear and close to the hearts of those who love you. So, who love you so all year. And I entered this in the Maryland State Fair, and I got first place. So this was, 32 years ago, and I got a first place. So I'm really excited.
Wonderful, happy.
And now I have another one that I made my mom. This is on perforated paper. I just love this. I guess you would call this a rose sampler. I really have no idea what the pattern was.
That seems
And she
familiar.
still has it hanging.
I do.
And then when I started back to cross stitching last year, I guess it would have been May of 2017, I made my mom this one. My mother, my friend. And the little pot is a button.
Oh, that's so cute, yeah.
And she keeps this in her kitchen. So, and then,
What's this?
so I do a lot of paperwork. I work with paper. I like Tim Holtz a lot, stenciling, decoupage, all kinds of things. And I like to collect old things. I'll be walking along, I'll be in the parking lot, and I see something interesting, and I'll pick it up and I'll put it in the drawer. I took a picture of my mom.
No, that was a picture from when I was about 15
And
years
she
old.
was 15. I took the picture. Let me see it. And then I just kept adding things and adding and decorating.
And I think that lace was from your grandmother's
Oh, yeah.
wedding. You dyed
Where's
it,
the lace?
The lace runs up here.
Yeah, the lace was from
Up
my
here.
mother's wedding dress that my grandmother
Yeah, your
had
grandmother.
used to make my mom's wedding dress. So I added it to the picture. And then since I work in the thrift shop, I pick up old vintage earrings and things. I just kept added the pearls. This little, the key, this little piece here is what I found on the parking lot, just laying on the ground. And I gave this to my mom for Christmas last year.
And I was real thrilled. I think it was great.
Something very different.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody
Well,
else's
you have
mom
a-
probably has something like
right.
this.
And you have a stand, you've got a stand for it. So
Yes, and it
sits up.
sits on the easel.
Easel.
On her,
Metal
on her
easel.
mantle.
Yeah.
So I bought a few things over the past few weeks. I really like embroidery hoops. I don't really use them. It's rare, but every once in a while you'll need to see the holes better. So I found these French embroidery hoops by French General. And let me show you how this works. Sorry for the crinkle. I had a little one open. So it's metal. And then this pulls the spring and it just comes off. And then so you put this on the bottom, then you pop the spring, it stretches on the top, and your fabric does not move. It doesn't get start to move where you have to pull it tighter. So this is one of the best embroidery hoops I've ever used. And I have this in 3 sizes. The one I use the most is the real small one. But I'm going to be doing Lady of the Flag, and I thought I need a big one for her so that when I do the beading, I'll be able to see it real well. So I just bought the 8 or 9 inch one. What else did I buy? I love buying crafts. It's just my other hobby.
It's a great helper here.
Satsuma Street. I bought a few
Aw.
Halloween ornaments. The pumpkin.
They're just
Turn it
so
along the
different
side.
looking when they're finished.
Yeah. And this is an entire kit. I ordered it from her Etsy shop. This one is a great cat. I love the mask.
tie and all.
Yep, and a bow tie. But it comes with the floss and with beads and everything.
They're just so unique when you finish them. And
Which one is that? Oh, the owl. Yeah. Do I have anything else? Or is that it? Oh, and then when I watched, I think her name is Stephanie, Lindy Stitches, I saw she showed Mr. and Mrs. Delicious. It's a turkey.
Oh.
So the Mr. and Mrs. Delicious turkeys, I just had to have this. Whoops, sorry. What would I do without him to
I
guide
know
me?
it. He's a great helper.
So I plan to start these soon. And I'm going to do these on a feldspar linen. It's 32 count by Picture This Plus. I already have it. I have everything kitted up and ready to go. So Oh, we have one more thing. Last time we introduced our quilt segment and we showed one of the quilts, so we have one more quilt to show you. I've been so disappointed if we've forgotten this. I'm gonna hold it in my, hold on, we're coming. And then I'm gonna get you my mom to talk to you about this quilt.
A fan quilt.
Is it in there? Okay, tell them about it, and where you got it, and how old it is.
Okay. This quilt goes back to 1951, and why do I remember that date? That's the year I was married, and my grandmother, she didn't quilt it, but a lady that lived next door did quilting, and she quilted it and she gave it to me for my shower, and so I've treasured it ever since. And it's just something special that I hang up over the rail on the upstairs here, and it's open so you can see it.
And I just love this quilt.
Yeah, so Pam will inherit it.
I don't want it too
Not
soon,
before
but I
then.
like admiring it from here.
Yeah. You probably inherited it before.
Before. But yeah, it's just,
Yeah, I know it'll
so
have
nice.
a good
I
home.
mean, look at the hand quilting on this thing.
Yeah, everything is by hand.
It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
So the only people in my family who haven't met are my twin daughters, Eddie's mom, Sarah, and Sarah wants to learn to cross stitch, and my friend Debbie, her daughter, also wants to learn to cross stitch. So I've been kitting them up a kit. Sorry, I'm showing her.
Oh, graceful.
So I bought them each Satsuma Street's Halloween cat. I thought that looked like something they would both like a lot. I actually kitted them up. They're DMC floss. Has some beautiful colors in here. I keep all my floss. Well, I keep my DMC in a huge double-sided tackle box, but for them I put it in the little baggies. I put all my fancy floss in the Ziploc snack bags, and I've been doing this for the past year or two. Before I even knew about Floss Away, I just take the little hole punch a hole, and take a ring and put them together. So this gives them a good start for their fabric, for their kit. I bought them.
And how to be organized.
And yeah, how to be organized. It starts them. I got this is periwinkle. This is from Color and Cotton. So I think it'll look really good, all those colors on here. So the only thing I need to do is I have 2 stork scissors that I'm going to put in their kit, but I need to make them a nice project bag. So I got Tula Pink fabric for them. The moth. So this will be their project bag. See the little death march moth there. Tula Pink has some great fabrics. And then this will be the accent fabric for the inside. This one shows up really well. So on Wednesday, we're going to get together and we're going to start our first cross stitch lesson. So hopefully one of my daughters at least will be a needleworker. And who knows, when the other one doesn't have the baby, she might get into it too. She'll see what her sister's making. Either that or she'll say, well, Mom, can you make me one? Right? That's what we do. So, do you have anything to add?
No, that's about all.
I think that's about all. Oh, I know, I do have one more thing. I wrote this down. I watched 2 new Floss tubers, and I thought I would tell you about them. One, I'd like to give a shout out to Stitch a Lot Cross Stitch, and she has many wonderful finishes. She does Blackbird designs. She did the Strawberry Fields. She Strawberry Fields Forever. She did Bee Study by Kathy Barrick, and I loved her version of Here There Be Monsters. She did it on a Murky, and it looked really nice. But then we have another really young cross stitcher, probably in her 20s, about 24, 25, maybe a little bit older, but not much. Her name is Harriet, and she is from Australia, and her channel is Stitch by Stitch Recovery. And Harriet is suffering from a rare disease, and she's hoping that getting her story out there, and she wants to share her needlework and have a record of her recovery. And so we really need to go watch her, show her some stitchy kindness like you do for everyone. I know in our quilt guild, we have something called the Sunshine Club. When someone needs some sunshine in their lives, they send out a little email, whether it be a death in the family, a surgery, or they're just sick. And we send them a card, and we send them a little 5-inch square of fabric in the card, and it's like our way of giving them a bouquet of flowers. So maybe we could all send a card to Harriet and just help her in her recovery. Could even put like one floss in that card to just give her some joy and help her through everything. So that's all I have to say. And so that concludes floss tube number 3.
I want to add, you can tell Pam has busy hands.
It's my Italian coming out.
There you go.
I never even noticed. Do you do that? No, it's just me.
No, I mean busy hands.
Oh,
They're
busy.
working
I thought you meant I
always-
talk with my hands.
No, always busy.
Yeah, I can't
Always
stand to
busy.
just sit there.
Even when she's in the car going somewhere, she's just going away, whatever it is, knitting or crocheting, or she keeps herself really
I
busy.
do. The
I'm
other
real proud
day,
of her.
oh, thank
Real
you. The other day I was going to the food store with my husband, just right up the road, 5 miles away. And I forgot my project, and I started to panic, like, we have to go back. And he's like, we're only going to the food store. But I just needed to have it there and have it close, because you never know when you might go somewhere else and you want to work on your project. So that's all for now.
And you might get stuck in traffic.
Right.
You know, that's the thing.
Because, you know, Mount Airy, Maryland has so much
Yeah,
traffic.
yeah.
Like, you're right. You never know. All right. Till next time. Happy
Bye.
stitching.
Nice to
Bye.
meet all of you.